Earlier, I spoke with Bill O'Reilly to get his take on the chaos in Minnesota and which public official could soon be facing federal charges. Joining me now is Bill O'Reilly, the host of No Spin News and author of Confronting Evil. Bill, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's great to see you. So I want to get your first response to Tom Homan's remarks in Minneapolis today. I thought that they were sober, they were confident, they were mission-oriented, and I think if people are willing to listen to what he had to say, they'll take some comfort in his message.
Well, first of all, congrats on the new show, Katie.
Thank you, Bill.
Nice to see you doing so well. Homan is an interesting character. We had him on with the Three Americans, Cuomo and Stephen A. Smith, a short time ago in D.C. at the Kennedy Center. And he's a guy that comes in, and he's not a political player. And his expertise is, look, we're going to do law enforcement, and here's how we're going to do it. And they got to change. So the Trump administration knows that the Department of Homeland Security can't go into battering ram anymore in Minneapolis because the American people are not accepting that, and it's hurting the president. They know that. So they're asking Homan to reorganize how the migrants without credentials are tracked down. I think he'll be successful in doing that, but the forces against him in Minneapolis and Minnesota itself, the whole state, they don't want this chaos to drop. I mean, they don't like death. They don't like that. They don't want people killed. But they do want as much trouble, to cause as much trouble as they can for the Trump administration. And that's important that everybody know that.
I think that some of the activists do want people killed so they can then use them as martyrs, which we've seen in their literature to put the bodies on the line. Even the lieutenant governor of Minnesota said that activists need to do that in order to make a point. And sadly, now we've seen that play out. But it does seem like Homan's getting some kind of result here already. I mean, Keith Ellison, the attorney general in Minnesota, has reportedly maybe open to allowing ICE into the county jails to get the ICE, the criminal aliens who are being held there into ICE custody in a normal, peaceful, non-chaotic public way. But as you said last night, Mayor Frey is a bit of a punk, and he's on X, still yelling at the feds. He's still refusing to cooperate. So they're up against a pretty high bar here when it comes to continuing these operations.
Absolutely. Number one, these people, these foreign nationals in the Minnesota jails are fugitives. Everybody should remember that. They're fugitives. So what Walz is doing, because the jails are the subject of his office, the sheriff's, and all that, is he's protecting fugitives. It's outrageous.
Yeah, it is.
And all he has to do is tell Ellison is a lackey, far-left lackey, just let ICE in and take these people because they have federal warrants out. And on a federal warrant plateau, Frey has to appear Tuesday at 9 a.m. in U.S. federal court in Minneapolis to answer a subpoena. He has to testify in front of a grand jury. And I hope that the Justice Department, a lot of people disagree with me on this, will charge him with some kind of federal crime. And he's in trouble, Frey.
Yeah.
Big trouble. Now, if they do that, all hell's going to break loose, Katie. All hell break loose in this country. But what you got now in Minnesota is an insurrection. That's what it is. I debated it with Cuomo last night. He doesn't want to admit it is, but that's okay. But
it is. I agree with
There's
you.
no
That's exactly what it is.
Right. And if you look at history, if you look how it played out in front of the Civil War, it's exactly the same thing. There's no difference whatsoever. And in the 50s, when the civil rights people had passed legislation, and Wallace in Alabama and Forbes in Arkansas said, blank you, federal government, we're not integrating. Well, Eisenhower sent down troops, airborne. That was an insurrection. And so Minnesota would have watched themselves now, but this is no doubt tearing the country apart.
Yeah, I asked the president about whether he was still planning to invoke the Insurrection Act last week, but he said he didn't think it was time yet. But if Minnesota officials refuse to back down and cooperate with the federal government, at least allow them to carry out federal law, that is an option that he has on the table. One thing that
it's
is
an option.
Yeah, it is an option. You mentioned all hell would break loose if Mayor Frey were charged with federal crime, but you could also argue that not enforcing the law and not charging people with these crimes that they are actually committing, including Mr. Preddy, who was seen on video that came out last night, kicking the tailgate out of a federal police vehicle, ICE vehicle, spitting on officers a week or so before he went to a second confrontation and was ultimately shot and killed, which the investigation will decide legally whether that was justified or not. But if he had maybe been charged the first time and put in prison, if local cops would have maybe arrested him, there would have been some deterrence to not go to the second incident where he was antagonizing and impeding ICE officers, which is a felony.
Of course, and the same thing for Ms. Good. As soon as Ms. Good parked her SUV, interfering with the federal investigation, if the Minneapolis police were on the scene, as it should have been, okay, they could have taken her right off, and she'd be alive today. But I'd leave all of this alone right now as far as the dead people are concerned. And I would delay any kind of indictment against Frey or even Walls for a while. Because the president's responsibility is not only to enforce the law, he has to do it, but it's also to protect the common good. And right now, the best thing for the United States is to bring this down and to try to educate the American people. And NewsNation is in the forefront of doing that on what the deuce is really happening here. You know, we have foreign money, as you know, Katie, coming in from Shanghai, funding these radical groups who are now storming hotels, and the police chief in Minneapolis allows it. I did a YouTube commentary on that. That's disgrace.
Yeah.
You allow these people to loot a hotel. You don't do anything. You don't send your people in. There have been no arrests made. What are you doing? What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
All right. So I think that the American people, because the media is so biased left, so unbelievably irresponsible, they're very confused at this point. And the federal government has to lay it out. This is what is actually happening here.
Yeah.
And the more they do that, the more people would say, I got it now.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.